They make it so hard to play against at Villa Park. They suffocate you, and you find it really hard to find those spaces on the pitch. And yeah, they're a top team. They deserve to be in the Champions League.
Have you played against Kai Havertz?
No, I don't think.
When you see him now, though, does he? I mean, I've been reading some articles this week on. In some ways, Arsenal have now got themselves a really good forward player in that he can drop in, he can be a false nine, but he's big, so he can hold it up. He has a bit of everything now.
He came under a lot of criticism last season, and he turned up every game and he showed his quality. He got some important goals at certain times of the season for Arsenal. I think he's going to be a big player for Arsenal. He's definitely a starter in their team, and he's deserved that as well.
I think Manchester United are rattled here, Mark Warburton, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. As I said, the game's got a really nice feel to it, good intensity that has really opened up, but Brighton again getting numbers forward, good interplay, good movement with Tome on the left-hand side, hence what he said, so they really do look effective going forward here.
Inside their own half. That defeat at the Emirates that Arsenal suffered against Aston Villa in April is their only Premier League defeat of 2024, but very costly it was on that April Sunday when, if you remember, Liverpool lost at home to Crystal Palace, and from that point on Manchester City were in the driving seat as long as they won, which they did. Arsenal on the attack here, but it's cut out by a sliding interception by Digne, and it's out for a throw on the halfway line. But referee Michael Oliver has blown his whistle because a Villa player has gone down in the centre circle and is lying on his back. I think it might be Onana on his home debut. It's just a collision there with Jurrien Timber, and he's ended up on his back.
Well, the first few minutes of the game, you don't want to lose him. Important, good signing, important player.
Yeah, well, listen, Jurrien Timber, having been signed actually last summer, in the summer of 2023 from Ajax, you know, they paid a lot of money for him, nearly £40 million the deal, Jurrien Timber, and he's just collided there. This is only his 5th appearance in a senior competitive match, and he's ended up on Nana. You know, it seemed quite innocuous, but the medical people are on, and they're looking at Amadou Onana, who's down on the ground on his back. So we'll have a little stoppage here in the early stages. The Villa supporters entertaining themselves by making a big noise. We do have a choice of listening for you right now. The test match is on Sports Extra from Old Trafford, and the Open Golf from St Andrews is online. But Ian Carter can update us from there.
Yes, and Nelly Corder has been caught at the top of the leaderboard, John. She's had back-to-back bogeys at the 12th and 13th, and Jae Shin of Korea, brilliant approach into the 17th, tap in for a birdie, and so she is also at 7 under. These two are 3 clear of the field.
Yeah, I think it is just a little knock on the head for Amadou Onana, and they are being extremely careful, which of course they should. The two Aston Villa medical people. He's now getting to his feet. There's applause for that, so he's standing up to his full height. The summer signing from Everton, as I say, £50 million, Belgian international, saw him at the Euros. I think he's going to be okay to continue. In the test match, England chasing 205 to win the first test. Eleanor Aldroyd.
Bit of a blow. They've lost Harry Brook, brilliant caught and bowled from Jaya Surya. He was out for 32. Joe Root is still there on 23, and Jamie Smith, England's first innings centurion, is on his way out to the middle. 86 more needed to win, 6 wickets left, 119 for 4, and the light is starting to fade here at Old Trafford. Will we go into a 5th day?
Onana has been led off the field. He's just shaking his head, actually, and I think he's just trying to raise himself, really. When I say shaking his head, it's not as if he's not going to be able to continue, although he's got his hands on his temples at the moment, just jogging up and down on the spot. So Villa are playing temporarily with 10 men. Ross Barkley, one of the summer signings, has been sent out to warm up. He's yet to make his debut second time around, was an unused substitute last week, and cheers you'll have heard, because Onana has run back onto the field. But we'll just keep an eye on him, Chris, I think, as Arsenal continue to come forward. Odegaard with the outside of his boot to the edge of the penalty area, but that was intercepted on the edge of the box by Cash, and Villa played forward, but Arsenal back in possession.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension around at the minute, isn't there? Nobody wants to make a mistake. You want to see these two teams go for it, but they're not going to. You can see the respect between them. Whoever gets the ball, the other team drop off. It's simple as that, and nobody wants to make a mistake.
Very early stages. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. Villa Park, surprisingly, not absolutely full. I can see empty seats in the Doug Ellis stand on the far side. Long ball forward, but Martinez will deal with that quite comfortably.
Yeah, there's some empty seats over there. I don't know what's happened there.
It's very odd.
Traffic. It's 50 mile an hour everywhere, isn't it? So there'll be traffic problems probably somewhere. But I'm looking at where you can win this game here. For Arsenal, definitely Saka I fancy him against Digne. Luke's the left back. He's good going forward. I don't think he's the greatest defender. And I'm surprised Arsenal haven't got the ball out to Saka straight away.
Aston Villa, Onana getting a touch there and just knocking it back to his goalkeeper. So out it goes to the right-hand side to Ezri Konsa. Thought did very well, Ezri Konsa, and the opportunities that he got during the Euros. Now on the right-hand side, Cash. He was a little bit of a doubt, came off during the match at Aston Villa at West Ham last week. Villa coming forward. Here's McGinn. He scored the winner. It was quite an early goal, actually, in the match here against Arsenal last season in early December. Now Bailey on the right-hand side. Ball into the penalty area for Cash. Tried to cut it back, but Arsenal were back there in numbers. Timber actually blocked the cross. Comes back to Timber. That's a weakish clearance. However, Havertz has made the best of it. He's flicked it to Martinelli on the left-hand side. Black shirts pouring forward for Arsenal towards the Holt end. Martinelli's ball across. Odegaard slightly behind him, and it deflected it behind Saka. So he has to check. Saka, left-footed ball in towards the far post. Martinez comes, throws himself at it. Rice with a shot, but that's straight at Martinez, who was still on the ground. But as he got up, the right shot was straight at him into his chest.
Well, across from Saka, we've seen him do that many times. Trot back onto his left foot and bend it in towards the middle of the goal, 6-yard box. Martinez comes flying out with a big S on his jersey and fumbles it, really pushes it away, but he gets the rebound. So, but that was two good positive attacks there from both teams.
Yes, it was. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. 5 Live on a Saturday tea time. Once again this season, the 5:30 Premier League commentary will be part of 5 Live Sport on a Saturday afternoon. Villa put under pressure by Arsenal, and it's passed out of play by Rodgers. Mikel Arteta, we see him for the first time since the start of the match, leap off his seat, dressed all in black today, with the jet black hair as well. Another of the two Spanish managers on the touchline. I was mentioning that last week, and I was quickly corrected. These are two of the Spanish managers from the Basque country, as Arsenal have it on the left-hand side with Martinelli out there as well. Here is Timber. So Zinchenko back on the substitute bench, but that's the only change made by either manager from the opening team lineups. Ball across. Digne heads it away for Villa. Nodded back by McGinn. Forward again by Digne, but it was deflected down. Tielemans passes it forward to McGinn, still in their defensive third. Nice little chip down the line for McGinn, who is then challenged by Saka. Digne is challenged by Saka, and all that's resulted in is the ball being deflected out of play for a throw into Aston Villa. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. I think another thing, Chris, that is, part of the story here is what lies ahead for these teams. And for Aston Villa, if they're able to win this game, as Tielemans plays it back across the edge of his own penalty area, their next matches, Villa's next league matches, are against Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Ipswich. So lying there is a real possibility of what they might do in the early stages of the season. While on the other side of that card, Arsenal's next matches in the Premier League are against Brighton, Tottenham and Manchester City.
This is a big game for Arsenal, isn't it? Let's be honest, confidence-wise, you've just reeled off the games they've got to play. None of them are easy, none of them. So it's important they get something today to get the confidence.
Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. Villa winning a free kick in the central third of the field. Yep, last season Villa, the 1-0 win here, and they'd beaten Manchester City just a few days earlier, and then the 2-0 win at the Emirates in April. Didn't concede a goal against Arsenal last season. Digne back to the halfway line, and then Pau Torres He came out with the ball at West Ham beautifully on a number of occasions. It's one of his trademarks, Torres, but Arsenal forcing Villa all the way back towards the edge of the area. Konsa, Tielemans comes to get it in his blue boots on the edge of the box. Now Digne, just left-footed, curls the ball down the line to McGinn. McGinn uses his strength to try and take it round the side of Thomas Partey, and then McGinn goes down right in front of Arteta, who's clapping his hands above his head for the challenge by Partey.
The referee was unsighted, so he wasn't going to blow at all, but there was a slight tug on the shirt.
Free kick not given, and so Arsenal go back towards the edge of their own penalty area, and David Raya can put his foot on the ball. Aaron Ramsdale on the bench. There's a bit of talk, isn't there, Chris, about the fact that he might move on over the course of the next week. Possibly Wolves, Southampton mentioned, Bournemouth mentioned. I'm at Wolves tomorrow for the game against Chelsea. That's 5 Live commentary match. And Eddie Nketiah is on the bench for Arsenal.
Yeah, they could be both moving here this week. So the players want to play. You know, not to talk about some players who don't want to play, just happy to sit on the bench. I would say, 99% players do want to actually play. Yeah,
and Eddie Nketiah at the age of 25, played for England last season. He certainly, you would think, wants to start matches. No Gabriel Jesus for Arsenal today. He's got a minor groin problem. Ball played forward from the back by Gabriel for Arsenal. Timber pushing well forward, but Cash went with him and is able to get there first for Villa and play the ball back to the goalkeeper, Martinez, who clears to the halfway line. Odegaard might have been caught there by Onana, but did well. Great balance from the Norwegian, the Arsenal captain, fair-haired, moving from left to right. Still in the central third of the field. Here's Ben White. I wonder whether he'll be back in the England squad this week, the Arsenal right back, now that there's been a change of management. Mikel Arteta says it's up to him, so we'll find out on Thursday. Here are Martinelli on the left-hand side, up towards the corner of the penalty area, into the full-back position. Left-footed cross took a deflection, which carried it right over everyone, and Saka will do well to keep it in. He does keep it in. He finds Ben White behind him, the number 4. Then it comes back to, in fact, the referee has stopped play because there's been another. Matty Cash has ended up on the ground inside his penalty area near the byline, and that must, I'm taking it, that must be a clash of heads as well. That's why play's been stopped, and Cash is lying on his back. He's moved his arms up across his face, so we're going to have another stoppage here with the score Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
Well, I'm trying to see what it is. Martinelli crosses it. Cash, for me, just falls over.
Now, well, if you remember, as I say, he did come off injured at West Ham last week, has been past fit to play here, but this looks as though he might have aggravated that injury.
It's his knee or ankle, I think. It looks like he has aggravated it.
Well, if it is going to be the same routine as last week for Villa, if Cash is not going to be able to continue, then we've got this 18-year-old, another one of the summer signings, £8 million. Well, actually, summer arrivals. He was bought in January, then went back on loan to Red Star Belgrade. This is Kosta Nedeljkovic, the teenage Serbia under-19 international, who made his debut last week for Villa in a competitive match. And if Cash can't continue, then he will be on, I would imagine. Salford 6, Huddersfield 0 is an early score in that 5:30 kickoff in the Super League. And what about the test match? I have to say, Eleanor Oldroyd, it's been a really, really watchable test match, hasn't it?
It has been. It's been a proper competition between England and Sri Lanka. And this is a very old school run chase. This 121 for 4, England needing 84 more to win. They're going around 3.2 and over. Joe Root hasn't hit a boundary in his 25 off 75 balls. Jamie Smith at the other end waiting to get off the mark as well. So Sri Lanka have kept it tight. They've made it hard for England to score. And we are debating about whether we could end up coming back tomorrow, because it's we can theoretically go on till 7:30 this evening if the light allows, and it's perfectly good at the moment, which would be enough time, you'd have thought, for England to get the runs. But we could end up having to come back tomorrow, and Sri Lanka, if they take another wicket, will feel like they are in this test match very much with a chance of winning it. So it's been an absolutely fascinating test from beginning to end. 122 for 4, 83 more needed to win.
Yes, and I think the forecast not great tomorrow in Manchester. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. Plays back underway. Cash is not going to play any further part, and Nedeljkovic is now being prepared to come on. What a day that is for him. to come on here at Villa Park for his home competitive debut to take on Arsenal early on in the match. Only 14 minutes played, and Arsenal now, Villa again playing for a period of time with 10 men, and it is Saka on the right hand side. Ball across to Odegaard on his left foot, angles it back into the area. Saka again, left foot, low shot. Oh, what a good save, Martinez. I thought that was bound for the bottom corner for Bukayo Saka, but Martinez, I think he was unsighted as well, you know, because we've got a good angle of that, but went down and pushed it around the post.
I'll tell you what, John, that was an unbelievable save. What a great save. As you say, he was unsighted, he didn't see it at the last second. He got down, he got a strong right hand on it and pushed it around for a corner. Emery was actually going mad with Digne at left back for letting Saka come inside so easy on his left foot. We all know he wants to do that. It's hard to stop, we've got to admit at times, but Digne just let him walk in there. Very easy. What a fabulous save.
It's almost exactly what he did against Wolves last Saturday afternoon, Bukayo Saka. But what a save. I've seen too many better saves than that this season. No. It's a corner, first corner of the match. Here it is for Arsenal. It's a deep one. Martinez has gone down, scramble on the goal line, shot hits the crossbar, and the whistle has now gone. Well, Martinez was struggling for that, but whether that has been given for a foul on the goalkeeper or not, I suspect it is by Michael Oliver.
As he just said, Martinez has quizzed him and he's basically given the answer why. To be honest, they just stood to the ground. I don't think it was a foul, to be honest. The boy just stood the ground.
I'm really not sure that was a foul on Martinez, but he used all of the body language there, and it might well be that it worked. Nedeljkovic has come on, hasn't he? Yes, he has. He's over there. So Matty Cash is off. What an unfortunate start to the season that is. As John McGinn is now shoved in the back by Ben White, and I think might have just had a few words from Mikel Arteta, who was just a few yards away and was up off his seat. So the fourth official has got involved in that as well, Darren England. I was reminded, George, our producer, reminded me that for the match here last season, Mikel Arteta was actually watching from the stands because he was serving his touchline ban at the time. And that is one for Michael Oliver to watch. No stranger to a yellow card, Mikel Arteta, as a manager last season. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0, 5 Live. BBC Sounds if you're on the move. And throw in for Ben White and Arsenal. Declan Rice, and comes the challenge from Digne. Deflected out of play. Howls of derision from the Aston Villa fans down in that corner underneath the big screen. Throw-in taken by Arsenal. Long one into the penalty area for Odegaard to chase. Takes a deflection and is cleared away by Torres downfield. Watkins up against the two redoubtable Arsenal central defenders, Saliba and Gabriel. It's a challenge for them now, though, isn't there? These two central defenders, with Calafiori having been brought in, one of the summer signings, and Timber, who can play in central defence. He's not the tallest, though, is he?
No,
Jurriën Timber, by any means. I doubt he's 6 foot.
I don't head it in Holland, though, do they?
Good point. Total football. White back across to Saliba.
I've got to say, John, that Arsenal have settled the best. They've looked more settled on the ball. Villa just can't get any rhythm, can't get any passes going at the minute. And Ollie Watkins normally is running in behind centre halves. He's not running once behind yet.
Yeah, big part of the win that Villa had against Arsenal at the Emirates in April. Scored one of the goals. Bailey scored the other. We've not seen him get into the game yet either. It's been all Arsenal possession. It's been a very impressive start, actually, from Arsenal in the first 20 minutes here in this big game at this early stage of the season. Comes back to the halfway line for Arsenal. Saliba and Ben White once again. That England squad, by the way, Lee Carsley's first England squad, 2 o'clock Thursday. You'll hear it announced here on 5 Live. Poor pass from White. Onana's able to bring it forward, tall and leggy that he is. Now Bailey on the right hand side. This is more encouraging. Bailey has twisted something and gone down as he turned. I think he maybe just got a foot caught in the grass. And Unai Emery looks as exasperated. They've already had an injury to Onana, who was able to continue. They've lost Cash, and now Bailey, as he turned, which is a worry, has ended up in a heap.
I think he's going off as well. That looks a bad one. That as soon as he changed direction, I think it's his knee. I think it's gone from underneath him, and he's hit the deck straight away. He's went straight down on the turf. And obviously the physios have just arrived now, and the doctor. But It doesn't look very good for him, that.
So they could be losing the 2 players on the right flank. Leon Bailey, I must say, Chris, when I saw him last season, and I think I saw quite a number of his good days, but he did score 14 goals. His pace, he was a real threat, the Jamaican international, and it was just as he turned, he felt something and ended up on the ground. Salford now 12-0 up against Huddersfield in the Super League, and there are plenty of options for Villa with the signings that they've made this summer. However, with all of the commitments that they'll have, the domestic cup competitions, the Champions League, the draws on Thursday at 5 o'clock, by the way, Villa supporters will be tuning into that, and the one thing that Villa don't want, Unai Emery, is crippling injuries, a bit like Newcastle last season when they returned to the Champions League. Bailey's just getting to his feet, and we'll see if he's going to be able to.
It's actually his left ankle, I think. It's not his knee, it's his ankle, where he's obviously turned it when the ball was on its way towards him. He seems to be all right now. He seems to be walking quite well.
I think he might be able to continue. Play gets back underway. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. But it's meant, the various injuries have meant that it's been rather disjointed, and it's had greater effect on Aston Villa than it has on Arsenal. And Bailey over there, he's going to be able to come back on. That is a big relief for Villa supporters, for Unai Emery, and certainly Villa this season. They've strengthened the squad, they've improved the size, they've improved the options, but injuries, that is what they do.
Well, you never deal for a job. You never think your players are going to get injured, do you? Let's be honest. So you plan the next game and training, and you could end up with 2 or 3 injuries. But I've got to say, Arsenal have settled the best in the game so far. But I'd just like to see Villa, not just Ollie Watkins, a couple of other players even from midfield, Rodgers and particular, just start running down the sides, running them behind, asking a few questions. Every time they're playing in front of Arsenal, it's very, very easy for them. Yeah,
Morgan Rodgers really not got into the game yet. The 22-year-old playing in the central area, number 27 on his back. Villa 0, Arsenal 0. At half-time we'll have more reaction to this afternoon's matches. We'll be hearing from more of the managers and players. A couple of fireworks go off outside the ground. We're going to hear from Sean Dyche at half-time after their 4-0 defeat at Tottenham in our 3 o'clock commentary match, and we'll hear from Eric Ten Hag as well, the Manchester United manager, after their first defeat of the season at Brighton, the late Brighton goal. Arsenal on the attack down the left-hand side with Rice, but the offside flag was up. Or did he actually not get to it before it went over the ball? Yeah, dead ball line. It's a goal kick. Goal kick.
They just cancel each other out, aren't there? There's a lot of respect out there. The game definitely needs a goal, and then I think then we'll see players are starting to be more positive. At the minute, nobody wants to make a mistake.
So it is a goal kick, and now Declan Rice has got a problem, and he's called Michael Oliver across. Just can't get into a rhythm with the game. Nothing Declan Rice can do about it. Whether he's got something in his eye, I don't think he wears. Does he wear contact lenses, Declan Rice? Anyway, he's okay, and Villa take the goal kick. He has Digne on the left-hand side. Can't remember seeing him in glasses. Ball to the halfway line, and then it's played back by Gabriel to goalkeeper Raya, the man who kept more clean sheets than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League last season. But he just taps the ball forward towards Partey, and now Saliba. Ben White's available to his right, and then back it goes to Saliba again, and then Villa suddenly press. Bailey is all over Gabriel, who claims he was fouled. Rodgers takes it on. Watkins! Oh, he steered it wide. 12 yards out. That was virtually an open goal, and Ollie Watkins missed. The foot of the left post it rolled past. I almost can't believe he missed that.
I've got to say, Arsenal dawdling at the back with Gabriel. What is he thinking about? He's waiting. He's encouraging in the challenge, and he does lose the ball, and they just squared. And Ollie Watkins, who's not been in this game, hardly any touches of the ball. He should have put that in the back of the net. What was he, 7-8 yards out? He hasn't the contact's not brilliant inside the foot. Just goes past the left-hand post by a yard. That should be 1-0.
Well, Ollie Watkins, if you were listening to us this time last week when we were bringing you the commentary from West Ham, when Steve Sidwell was with us, we were talking about how rusty Ollie Watkins looked. But I expected him to be much more on it today after another week. But you can't look much more rusty than that, miss.
Well, that should be a sign. Look, every time they've pressed Arsenal, just now they've won the throw in, Villa. They've pressed Arsenal, they've had joy. They've got to start doing it more.
Given away by Nedeljkovic on the halfway line. That was most unlike Arsenal as well, to be caught like that in the way that Villa dispossessed them. Gabriel with Bailey. Now here's Havertz on the edge of the penalty area, but can't get through the Villa back line. And Watkins deep inside his own half. Torres takes it down, volleys it forward. Rodgers, no, Arsenal have got that back. Ben White, Odegaard, here's Saka again. Saka infield to Odegaard, back to Saka, but it overhits the pass through and it just rolls on behind and through for a goal kick.
Well, since that opportunity, which was probably nearly 4 or 5 minutes ago, the game's come to life. There's a tempo about the game now. There's a lot of respect shown early on. Now, after that chance, both teams have upped the tempo.
I mentioned Lee Carsley, he is here, sitting up to our right in the comfortable seats in the director's box at Villa Park. To say that squad, that first Lee Carsley squad, will be named on Thursday at 2 o'clock for the match in Dublin against his former international team, the Republic of Ireland. Those matches on 5 Live, the Ireland game and the home match against Finland in the Nations League. Arsenal with the ball on the edge of their own penalty area and playing it out from the back with big chances apiece now, and Arsenal were fortunate to survive that chance. For Ollie Watkins, who had such a brilliant season last season with his 27 goals, Villa's top scorer, a player of the year, personal best for him as well to score that many, 19 of them in the Premier League. Mind you, Erling Haaland, of course, has put down a marker, hasn't he, after scoring last Sunday at Stamford Bridge, a hat-trick today.
Unbelievable goal scorer. He's a top goal scorer.
Haaland, a hat-trick in Manchester City's 4-1 win against Ipswich. Brighton 2-1 winners against Manchester United, as I mentioned. Tottenham 4-0 handsome winners against Everton. Poor start for Everton now, officially. Groans, Villa have given it away as Ben White passes it forward to Odegaard. Odegaard turns and then plays it back into his own half. The other scores, if you've been out and about: Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 2. We've already heard from Jared Bowen. Fulham 2-1 winners against Leicester. Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Big win for Rangers, 6-0 against Ross County. And a couple of the scores that stood out in the Championship: Sunderland 1-0 winners against Burnley, and Watford 2-1 winners against Derby. Arsenal with the ball on the edge of the area, but Saka let it go somehow. Seemed to take his eye off the ball, and cheers from the home supporters as Digne was able to step in, say thank you very much, cleared it downfield where it's deflected out of play by Partey for a throw-in on the halfway line. So yeah, much more on that at half-time as well, with Sunderland and Watford having won 3 out of 3 in the Championship this season. Throw-in that will be taken by Luca Digne down there, who just walks up to the halfway line. Unai Emery puts his feet just about as far apart as they'll go and gives some instructions. Digne down the line, which is headed down by Saliba, out of play for a throw into Villa, level at the edge of the Arsenal box. Rodgers takes the throw to McGinn. Digne now. Digne. Rodgers at close quarters, left-footed cross, blocked behind or off the pitch by Ben White for an Aston Villa throw as they inch towards the north stand, the 2-tier north stand with the smoked glass 2-tier levels of hospitality boxes that are, I must say, all of them, as far as I can see through the smoked glass, packed with spectators peering down on the pitch, where Digne takes the throw to the near post, but he's got that all wrong. Just bounces through for a goal kick, looking for some sort of contact from the 2 or 3 Villa players who were there. But a goal kick for Arsenal, 0-0, Chris Waddle.
I saw the set piece coach get up there as he went to take the throw in and went straight through the goalie, who turned around quickly and sat down.
Set piece, just said to Unai Emery, yeah, set pieces, not throw-ins, set pieces me. Arsenal were very successful from set pieces in the Premier League last season, scored 22 of them, more than anyone else. But it is Arsenal with the ball inside their own half. Flags fluttering away on top of the Doug Ellis stand on the far side of the ground. It's quite a summery feel around the stadium, despite the rain. As Digne puts in a challenge on Saka, who goes to ground absolutely screaming. I can hear him from here. And then the ball infield to Odegaard, and the referee has brought it back, I think, for that challenge on Bukayo Saka. Truly went down screaming.
Well, I was just getting a replay of it. Yeah, there's nothing in it at all. Nothing at all.
It's been a disappointment, actually, so far.
It has. It's too much respect. You need a goal.
Here's Timber. Out on the left flank, Saliba. Gabriel makes himself available there. The Aston Villa fans, as Saka makes his way down the left flank, are imitating his scream. Now Rice with a cross from the left, but that's headed away by Digne. John McGinn is put under pressure by Partey and wins the free kick. Michael Oliver gives it, then allows Villa to take a quick free kick. McGinn for Rodgers down the left. He has a look to see where Watkins is. Bailey's there on the edge of the box as well, but excellent work. Saliba stepped forward. He knew where it was going there, Saliba. That was quality defending from him. The Arsenal central defender stepped out and has set Arsenal away on another attack. Rice to Martinelli. Martinelli now back to Partey. Partey 25 yards out. They want him to shoot. He does, but it flies over the top of Martinez and over the top of the crossbar by 2 or 3 feet into the Villa fans.
Why not? Villa on the break again. Counter-attack, wasted it. Arsenal got back at them quickly. Partey looked nothing on again. Shot high and wide, but we just need a goal, John. It needs a goal.
Yeah, 2 big chances so far. Martinez making that very good save from Bukayo Saka. And applause here for John Duran after he was the hero last week. They thought he was on the move to West Ham a few weeks ago, and it did look for all the world as though that was the case. For those who don't know, he was actually pictured on social media with the West Ham pose with the arms crossed as McGinn is winning a free kick right down in front of us against Saliba here, but actually it's Saliba who seems to have come off worst and has rolled off the field, but it's been given Villa's way, and then Saliba almost miraculously,
what goes through their heads? That's what I want to know.
Springs back to his feet.
Do they not think lying on the ground there thinking, you know what, I'm making a mug of myself here, well, just get up and get on with it.
Free kick for Villa. Tielemans to take this. Tielemans quite close to us. We're quite low down at Villa Park. His white shorts look absolutely enormous, don't they, from this distance. Tielemans takes this curling in, headed away well. Declan Rice was in there for Arsenal. Header won on the edge of the box as well by Martinelli. Odegaard, nice touch, he drew Villa players. Then the pass forward by Rice down the right-hand side. Havertz is into the area, ball across, only half cleared by Konsa, who was then able to recover and volley it further away. Actually, I think it was Leon Bailey back inside his own penalty area who cleared that away.
Absolutely brilliant, Leon Bailey. He sprinted about 80 yards there, he read it, and it was the obvious ball by Havertz. Everybody knew he was going to play it, and Bailey did.
Now Villa on Nana with a long diagonal ball for Watkins to chase down into the full-back position. Saliba is with him. Watkins and Saliba together. He's taken it into the corner quadrant, and then Saliba got a touch on it. McGinn rattles it into Saliba. Then the ball's been kicked by White into McGinn. There's a coming together between Saliba and McGinn went to ground. Players are now getting involved. There's general milling around. It's nothing too angry. Michael Oliver's in the middle of this. We can clearly see him in his orange shirt, and various players are making their case. It just depends here, Chris. I think what Michael Oliver has seen, particularly involving McGinn and Saliba, and that's been simmering.
And then Ben, we're getting a replay now, look. Yes, McGinn hit. I don't know if he aims it at him. I think he just, he does. And then Ben White hits it at John McGinn, so
I'm not sure. Is there actually anything in there that's worthy of a yellow card?
I wouldn't give him a yellow card, but it was definitely the ball was aimed at both players. Yeah. Definitely.
Michael Oliver has now managed to get most of the players away from the scene of this, and he's left with just Saliba and McGinn. I think he's going to leave it, I don't think there is going to be a card shown.
No, I don't.
So I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a long chat with John McGinn, and he is the Villa captain. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's just saying to John McGinn, look, you just need to calm things down a little. You know, that was as a result of what happened between McGinn and Saliba just a few minutes earlier. Right. Well, it certainly helped the atmosphere. Not that it particularly needed helping. Honestly, coming here today, mingling with some of the Villa supporters inside the ground, there's genuine excitement and optimism about what lies ahead this season. Here's Rice. Arsenal could puncture some of that here today, though. Timber playing it back to Gabriel. Gabriel then slips the ball forward to Timber, who might be able to get himself into the penalty area, but Konza was there as the final line of defence for Aston Villa, and it's cleared back towards the halfway line. Arsenal could have been in front. Villa should have been in front. 12 yards out, Ollie Watkins. Big chance. Lee Carsley watching. He'll have his own ideas. Jude Bellingham's injured, for those who haven't heard that. Jude Bellingham's picked up an injury in training this week, so it looks as though he's out of the England games. Here's Martinelli now for Arsenal into the penalty area. Martinelli turning inside the box, still going against Nedeljkovic. Martinelli, little ball out to the left-hand side. Rice is there, curling cross from him. Saka underneath it, headed away though for Villa. Out to Odegaard, lovely footwork from him, still going, but Villa too many defenders in there. Digne puts in the challenge, offside. And Saka was in an offside position when it was touched through to him, so a free kick to Villa.
Some nice footwork there, Odegaard, wasn't it? And then Martinelli on the left-hand side, but no end product. And this game does need a goal.
It does. 0-0, half-time approaching. Less than into the last 10 minutes of the first half here. One or two greyish clouds, but high above Villa Park. Still plenty of blue sky, and the Villa supporters in good voice. They will be in pot 4 when the draw is made for the Champions League in Monaco. As I say, 5 o'clock on Thursday. We'll have coverage of that on 5 Live. Ian Dennis will be on Drive to bring you the news of that. The expanded league stage now of the Champions League. It'll take about an hour, actually, before we know what's what, and the fixtures aren't going to be announced until Saturday. But news of that, and also Champions League highlights on BBC television this season, so that Champions League draw, you'll be able to watch on the iPlayer and via the BBC Sport website and app. Martinez inside his penalty area, inside his 6-yard box. Bailey was challenged, seems okay now. Bailey, after that twisted ankle that looked so nasty for a time. Ben White through and forward towards Havertz on the edge of the area. Now Odegaard on the right-hand side. Saka's ball through to White. White trying to get there, works it back across to the edge of the penalty area, but no one there in black and an Arsenal shirt. Villa will break. Bailey hits it long downfield for Rodgers to chase, but Gabriel's able to get there first for Arsenal. We're going to go back to Old Trafford in a moment, but Arsenal are on the attack up the left-hand side. Martinelli back towards Rice. Rice then to Partey, just forward of the centre circle. Now out to the right-hand side to Saka. Heels on the white line. Now Saka moves forward against Digne. Uses Partey. Partey curls it across the edge of the penalty area. That's taken down by Declan Rice. Rice, lovely ball through to Martinelli. Ball across to the near post to Havertz. Defender Pau Torres dived in there and I think got a touch on it onto Havertz, which took it wide for a goal kick.
No, Havertz, yeah, he's just got to lift it, got a little dink. It's just, you know, it come across. Great move by Arsenal, I've got to say. What a ball by Declan Rice. Martinelli hits it hard, and now Havertz has just got to lift it. He's just got to dink it, and he scores. And he's miskicked it, and it's gone out. Goal kick.
Just dwelt on it. Pau Torres was in with a challenge. Good defending, actually, but Havertz
just got to lift it. If he lifts it, it's in.
Did score last weekend. Havertz, 14 goals last season. What are you thinking, Chris? Do Arsenal need a centre forward?
Yeah, I think they do. I think.
Oh, Torres very nearly gave it away to Havertz, and then challenged. He goes down. He's rolling around. It's all right. Villa have got the free kick. I think Havertz does a job, but he's not prolific. He's not
He doesn't look like a centre forward. You know, when the ball goes in the box, you know, you see how centre forwards react. He seems to be, I don't know what position he is. Is he a number 10 originally? I don't. He's been converted to number 9. But yeah, I think Arsenal do need a proper centre forward.
Yep. Still scored 91 Premier League goals last season, Arsenal. But whether that centre forward would make the difference. Anyway, free kick to Villa on the edge of their own penalty area. As promised, here's Eleanor Oldroyd at Old Trafford.
139 for 4, England chasing 205 to win. When I say chasing, I'm using that word loosely because it's been pretty slow, this run chase. Joe Root, 37 off 91 deliveries with not a single boundary. Jamie Smith is on 6 at the other end. 66 more needed. We can play till 8 o'clock. Bright sunshine, long shadows at Old Trafford.
I do like a slow run chase. Eleanor knows that. Brilliant run here from Morgan Rogers. Superb. Picked it up. The ball, 40 yards out, Chris, and set off on a run direct through the inside left position. And in the end, I don't know whether it was a cross or a shot. It was probably mishit in the end. And Raya was able to
cross it. I think he tried to square it with his left foot, but as you say, he miskicked it a bit in there. But it was a terrific run. 40 yards out, drives into the box. Nobody wanted to touch him. We know what happens if you get touched in the box, so it was a good effort.
Do you like him? Morgan Rogers, 22 years old?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to come from him. I think there's more in there.
Arsenal with Rice, going to go to St Andrews as well, but Arsenal on the attack. Saka back to White. Ben White then goes back into his own half, so let's bring in Ian Carter again from St Andrews.
And it's tough for the leaders at the moment. Double bogey 6 at the 16th for Nelly Corder. She drops into a share of second place with Lilia Vu, with Ji Shin at 7 under par after her 67 today. The leader by 2. Lottie Wode into the top 10, the English amateur, with an eagle 2 at the last in her 72.
Thanks, Ian. Commentary continues online via the BBC Sport website and app from St Andrews. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. First half of few chances, but good chances. Odegaard now to Saka. Saka back to Odegaard inside the Villa penalty area. Saka, quick touch from him. White cross to the back post, cleared away. Bailey again back on the edge of his own penalty area. Odegaard nods it back. Partey using his strength, but Rodgers used his strength as well. And Tielemans now is able to do well under pressure. And Tielemans has been able to pass it forward to Rodgers. And Rodgers now once again carrying the ball forward. Pass to Bailey in the D. Bailey tried to give it back to Rodgers. I think it was the right idea, but Rodgers actually didn't continue the run with any conviction, and Arsenal cleared it.
Rodgers is a man who's he's just playing behind Ollie Watkins, and he's getting a bit of space. When Arsenal go on attack, he's finding space when they break the play up Villa, and he is the out ball for them, and he carries the ball very, very well. But it's that final ball.
Morgan Rogers, wonder whether he might come into England contention. Former England under-21 international with the under-21 coach in charge.
How many 10s have we got?
Well, that is another issue. Almost as many as Chelsea. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. Konza through the middle to Watkins. Now Rodgers, shot from him, but that's blocked. I think it might have been an Arsenal block. Comes out to Bailey. Bailey curls it across, but that's an easy catch above his head for David Raya, taking a couple of steps backwards.
Rodgers is the one who's finding the space, isn't he? He's playing like 10-15 yards behind Ollie Watkins, but he's getting a lot of space. He's ball watching a lot, and he's getting little gaps. There he should have had a shot. He was 23, 24 yards out. Plenty of time. Pull the trigger. He's looking for that pass all the time.
Did score 3 goals for Villa at the end of last season. Scored in his last 3 home Premier League appearances, actually, Morgan Rogers, but originally West Brom youngster. He's from the West Midlands, from Halesowen, had a spell at Manchester City, went out on loan, ended up at Middlesbrough, which is where Villa bought him from. Here's White, now out towards the far side. Martinelli running at Nedeljkovic, and then still going. Martinelli to the byline, but just really scooped it across, and Martinez was able to make the catch at the near post.
Goal kick. Linesman stuck his flag up. Martinez was a desperate run to get on with the game, but it's a goal kick.
So I think, yes, it is. It has been given as a goal kick. Martinez is, I don't know what he's doing. Well, I do know he's wasting time. He's just wandering around with the ball in his hands. Sometimes he just quite like to try and referee the game himself. Emiliano Martinez takes the goal kick eventually over the halfway line. Flick from Watkins, but flicked it straight to Odegaard. And 0-0 as half-time approaches. Fourth official is just stepping forward with the big electronic board, so more reaction coming at half-time with Mark Chapman here on 5 Live to the afternoon results. And 6 minutes of added time after the various injuries that we've had in the first half. It's not lived up to what we hoped for so far.
There's been spells, isn't it, where they've upped the tempo and there's been a couple of good chances, but in general there's a lot of respect between these two teams, and people are just trying to make a mistake.
Yeah, seen that terrific save from Martinez, and the howling miss from Ollie Watkins. Those will be the highlights that they'll have taken out so far for Match of the Day tonight, which you can see after the news, or indeed any time, Match of the Day on the iPlayer, any time of the week. Rice, and here is White for Arsenal, halfway inside the Villa half. White standing just with the ball above his head, waiting for the movement. In the end it goes to Havertz. Looked like a handball by Havertz, not given. Then Saka, challenged by Tielemans. Saka goes spiralling down, but Tielemans took the ball, and Villa clear it back downfield, where David Raya is in possession again. Just knocks it out to Gabriel. Thomas Partey receives it from him. Just quite a strong breeze, just ruffling the shirts of the Villa players as they step away with Arsenal in possession. Here is Saka again on the right wing. Bukayo Saka, 2 Villa players on him, again helping out Digne. Back up the line to White. Now Odegaard, corner of the box. Havertz is there as well. Comes all the way across centrally to Gabriel on his left foot. I think he might have overhit that forward. No, he hasn't. Martinelli's got there. He's able to cross it. Bounces down off a chest, a Villa chest, and then comes back towards the dead ball line, where it's taken down by Nedeljkovic and volleyed away to the halfway line. Villa supporters think that Watkins was being fouled on the halfway line. Then they think as well that Bailey has been tripped by Timber, and Michael Oliver agrees with that one, and it's a free kick to Villa.
Yeah, he had to give one of them, didn't he? They were trying to get Ollie Watkins to get the free kick, then he passed that one, but Bailey goes down, and yes, he gets that one. But you would say it's an even game, wouldn't you? There's nothing between them, so I think 0-0 at half time's a fair result.
Yeah, but we still have probably 3 minutes plus to play of this first half. Villa going back from that free kick on the halfway line. Unai Emery, for some reason, goes on a little scamper of his own around the technical area from left to right, then to the top corner, and now here's McGinn in field to Rodgers. Rodgers holds off the challenge of Rice, then goes round Partey. Rodgers still going. Rice comes in with the tackle. Yellow card. It's a foul by Declan Rice. And again, another big tick for Morgan Rodgers. Free kick, Villa 15 yards inside the Arsenal half.
Yeah, he's very positive when he picks the ball up. He drives forward with it. He's strong as well, isn't he? And Declan Rice just comes from the side, takes him completely out. Right decision by the referee, yellow card.
And here he is again with the long blonde hair. Austin McPhee in his black tracksuit and his football boots with the 3 white stripes on, giving the instructions, telling the Villa players what they've planned on the training ground to the north of Birmingham earlier this week. Free kick is taken square by Digne. I don't think he told him to do that. He almost passed it out of play.
Well, no, long that took the practice on the training ground, that one. Wow. I mean, let's kick the ball out play. No, keep it in, slide and kick it over the goal kick instead.
Austin McPhee's has gone and sat down.
He's looking back at his laptop and he's pressing the buttons. And he's like, not doing that one ever again.
Computer says Luca Digne says no. Took it square, there was nobody there. It was deflected forward, now it's a goal kick for Arsenal. When they put together their...
That's why we're running the clock down.
When they put together their highlights for the session on Monday morning, I don't think that'll be in it. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. Partey in the centre circle. Goes back towards Gabriel. We are now in the last 30 seconds of what has, for the most part, considering the players and the teams that we've got involved, it's been a disappointing first period. As Onana challenges and concedes a free kick. Saka is enraging the Villa supporters, who again feel that he went down too easily. I think that was a free kick.
Yeah, it was a definite free kick. Now,
Mikel Arteta has said something. Fourth official Darren England. And clearly Mikel Arteta must be unhappy about the treatment that he feels that Bukayo Saka is receiving. You know, and let's not get away from it. Sometimes Bukayo Saka does receive, you know, the treatment that he receives is over the line. Has that been the case here?
It was a foul, and he gets up. But obviously hasn't a go, and any advantage you can get in modern day football, they'll try and get.
So it's a word of caution for Mikel Arteta. I reckon that's just about it for the first half here at Villa Park. 0-0. And we'll hope for something better in the second half. As Partey plays it back to Timber. Feels like they're just waiting for the half-time whistle, although there might be one final Arsenal attack. Here's Martinelli on the left-hand side. Martinelli not included in the latest Brazil squad for the World Cup qualifiers, but doesn't even get the ball into the penalty area from over there. And the two managers, Arteta and Unai Emery, almost mirror each other, don't they, in the way that they walk down the side of the pitch in front of his head, staring at the track in front of them as they walk down the tunnel. 0-0.
Yeah, I think it's been very equal. I think there's nothing between the two sides. Villa's had a couple of good chances, and Arsenal's had a couple of good chances. Maybe, could have done better, both teams. But there's a lot of respect out there. The game at times, when it does up the tempo, it looks great to watch on the eye, but we're not seeing enough of it. We need a goal.
Yeah, hoping for better to come in the second half. It is Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
Well, you would hope there's not worse to come after that. Can't think of a single question to ask at the end of that 45 minutes.
Well, you've been away on your holidays, so you're probably not as sharp as you normally are.
Let's quickly move on. 28 minutes past 6. Carl Hartley has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Police investigating a knife attack in Western Germany that killed 3 people and seriously injured 8 say they're not ruling out terrorism. It happened at a festival near Dusseldorf last night. A 15-year-old boy has been arrested, but officers are still looking for the attacker. Italian authorities say they're considering manslaughter charges as they continue to investigate why a luxury yacht sank off the coast of Sicily. 7 people died, including the UK tech entrepreneur Mike Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah. Police have arrested 2 more men on suspicion of murder after a woman and her 3 children died in a house fire in Bradford. A 39-year-old man arrested at the scene on Wednesday remains in hospital with critical injuries. And in the last few minutes, NASA has announced that the 2 astronauts stranded on the International Space Station will return to Earth on SpaceX in February. Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore went into space on the 5th of June on an 8-day trip, but are currently stuck because of a problem with the Boeing Starliner spacecraft.
On BBC iPlayer.
We're literally going from the Amazon to the Andes.
But this is no holiday.
One more day like this will break us.
Celebrity race across the world.
You've got a lovely cheap room and you've got a miserable wife, so well done.
Watch on BBC iPlayer. This is 5 Live Sport.
With Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And before we get back to Villa Park for the second half, let's round up as much of the day's sporting action as we can. Our base from 3 o'clock was Tottenham. They beat Everton 4-0. So Sean Dyche's side have now lost both of their opening matches and conceded 7 in those 2 without scoring themselves. Here is the Everton manager.
Yeah, certainly a tough day. We started organised but a little bit subservient. I thought on the other hand you could say Tottenham at home, first home game, and that kind of energy that it brought. So we went one down when, I'd like to think we could smell that quicker. And the second one's very difficult. I can't legislate with that. We had 2 mistakes last week that cost us and a glaring one today, which is really, really difficult to take. And at places like this, when we know they've got firepower, know they've got varying people who can score a goal, at 2-0, you're trying to get back in the game, but you know that you might get hurt again, and we did.
Is it a bit of a consolation that you've been through hard times with Everton, not all of your own making with what happened last season, and you came through them? So in a way, you know that the group has got the bottle for all of this.
Yeah, but it's an interesting sort of debate point, because as part of growth as a footballer, and I've said that, so we've got to use the experiences that we've had and lock them in to use them for the future. But so far, we haven't done, I mean, look, mistakes change games. It's similar to that. I mean, goals change games. But if you're giving people goals in the Premier League, it's a very difficult thing. The underbelly of that, of course, yes, we are stretched. We've got injuries, all the financial thing, but we've been through that before. So now it's important to remind ourselves of the skill set we used to come through that, and we've got to go and do it again.
Rob Nothman with the questions, and he got the Tottenham point of view from James Maddison.
Coming here over the years, Tottenham haven't always been the fastest starters in the world at the start of games. That seems to have changed. Give us a little insight. What does the manager say last thing to you before you go out?
Well, I won't give you a word for word play, because it just get quite motivational. But he always mentions and always goes back to starting fast and playing our way and making sure that we use the crowd that we have, because being at home is such an advantage, especially with our supporters. That we use that and use that energy to put the other team on the back foot, and it worked perfectly today. We started on fire.
Fast forward towards the end of the game and Mickey van der Ven running forward. Have you ever played with or against a faster centre-back than him?
No, I don't think so. When he gets going, he's like a racehorse, isn't he? Like, he's big legs. You see him warming up before the game, and he looks like a 6'4", stiff, big man with all the physios working on him to loosen him up. And then he gets out there, and then we played such an aggressive high line with the defenders that you need the pace at the back, and he's so reliable.
So give us an idea, how excited should Spurs fans be?
As excited as they want to be. We want them to get. That's the beauty of football, and why the start of the season is so beautiful for everyone, is because all fans of all clubs have that optimism and have that hope. And you never want to take that out of supporters, and we want them to get carried away. We want them to dream big, and it's our job to stay grounded, stay professional, and work to the next game. As boring as that sounds, but we're professionals, and that's what we've got to do. We let our supporters get carried away and dream big, and we work hard in the background trying to make that happen for them.
That's James Maddison with Rob Nothman. Maybe Brighton fans are dreaming big after João Pedro got a 95th minute winner to beat Manchester United 2-1. The thoughts from a United perspective from Eric Ten Hag with Jonathan Pearce.
Tough to take that at the end?
Absolutely. When you at least
to Rodgers. Rodgers approaching the centre circle. Now to the right-hand side. Nedeljkovic making a run, but Bailey in possession. Bailey still going down towards the corner flag. Martinelli chasing him all the way. Bailey returns it centrally, more towards the halfway line to Ezri Konsa. Now the club record signing, Amadou Onana, is in possession of the ball, and back it goes. And now it's Aston Villa who have a spell in possession inside the Arsenal half. What's happening at Old Trafford, Eleanor?
England have lost their 5th wicket. Jamie Smith out for 39 off 48 balls. He changed the momentum really of this run chase, actually pushed things on considerably after Joe Root and Harry Brook just looked to have got a bit bogged down. So England are just 22 runs away from victory with 5 wickets left. They will get there this evening. Joe Root is 48 not out, but Sri Lanka have had a really excellent day, and what a fascinating couple of test matches we've got in store over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Eleanor. Sports Extra for the ball-by-ball commentary. 0-0 here at Villa Park. Villa on the attack. Ball crossed, but it took a deflection actually off Ben White. The cross from the left-hand side, easily caught by Raya, who launches one downfield, and then Havertz comes together with Ezri Konsa, and the free kick is given to Villa.
Yes, I agree with that. I think Havertz was not really looking at the ball. He was looking for the defender. He just glances at him. You can see he just looks over his shoulder, and again twice, and he just basically tries to block him off. And I think he's fine. Both players should be okay.
Yep. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. That's Chris Waddle with us on 5 Live, former England man, England World Cup player, 62 caps, and here we are watching Villa with this free kick just inside their own half. More Premier League commentary tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Wolves Chelsea, 5 Live, the place to hear that. Bournemouth Newcastle will be on the website and app for the commentary. And then Arne Slot's first home Premier League match as the Liverpool manager against Brentford on 5 Live at 4:30. So 3 Premier League commentaries tomorrow. Free kick taken by Villa, backwards to Martinez. And then long and forward from the Villa goalkeeper. That's headed back into the Villa half by Gabriel. Konsa was okay after that foul from Havertz. Martinez back to Pau Torres, tall Spaniard, turns, stands up tall, gives it to McGinn, who has party all over the back of him. That's a free kick. Another little foul. It's been littered, hasn't it, with those sort of fouls?
I mean, it's difficult for the referee, isn't it? But yeah, so many little niggly fouls, and the game just cannot get going. It can't seem to get it into action. It just every 2-3 passes is a foul.
As well, though, I think it is something of a measure of Villa's progress that Arsenal now in the position that they're in, Premier League runners-up in the last 2 seasons, it is so finely balanced and they're so well matched, these teams. And now a foul by Havertz on Konsa, so a free kick to Villa again, deep inside their own territory.
I think they need Ollie Watkins to spin in a bit more, especially when they're getting it deep. Konsa's got it. He's looked. Watkins is just standing next to Saliba. He's not looking to get in behind him at all. This time he is. The ball wasn't good enough.
No, Saliba was able to head it down, but John McGinn is able to pick up possession. The Scotsman on the left-hand side. McGinn now to Rodgers, and then the shot, and then it deflected, hits the bar. Oh, what a save by Raya on the follow-up. Ollie Watkins was looking to head it in from 7 yards out, but Raya somehow recovered and was able to claw it away.
Oh, I've got to say, what a fantastic save by Ollie Watkins yet again. That's 2 great chances he's had this evening, and he's not took either one of them. I mean, a bit of good fortune, but the goalkeeper, what a save. But for me, Ollie Watkins has got to score. He's 4 yards out, goalkeeper's on the deck, he's lying on the floor, off the ball, it comes up the crossbar, open goal. Give the goalkeeper credit. What a fantastic reaction save.
Yeah, it really was. Because from the initial deflected Onana shot that was deflected by one of the Arsenal players down into the pitch, up and over him, he was diving backwards into the goal and trying to reach it, hit the bar, came back out, and even though he was on his back, Raya was able to get up and claw it away. I mean, Watkins, you could argue, from the position that he was in, diving header should have been more ruthless.
Yes, definitely. I mean, he's probably thought it's a simple goal, isn't it? Just head it and it's in.
So that save from David Raya means it is still Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well on the move via BBC Sounds as Odegaard now receives it in the box, trying to get it onto his left foot. Too many Villa defenders there, and Villa through Tielemans now on the counter-attack, but Ben White goes with him. However, Tielemans sends the pass for Bailey to chase down the right-hand side. This is better now. Bailey against Timber, into the box, taking him one way and the other, but then there is support there for him. Martinelli comes back. Martinelli puts in the challenge on Nedeljkovic, and it's deflected back towards the halfway line, and I think Konsa will hold off Havertz, and the whistle's gone. The referee's whistle's gone. There were arms flailing there, and Michael Oliver comes across. He's explaining it all the time to the players. He's given the free kick Villa's way, or is it going to be a drop ball? No, it is. It's a drop ball.
Well, I mean, he did flat it, but Havertz keeps pulling his shirt, Konsa, and he's just said, "Get off my shirt."
Here's Rodgers now running towards the edge of the penalty area. Another thrilling run from him, but it was intercepted on the edge of the box. Then Onana in with a challenge. That was with Gabriel. Still Villa. Bailey shot from Rodgers. That's deflected wide.
Yellow card. Gabriel.
And that yellow card for the challenge by Gabriel on Onana just outside the box. Suddenly it's raised and lifted.
Yes. The crowd as well, they're talking the whole end, which obviously they're late to the attack, and the atmosphere has gone up now. But Villa's just got to keep asking questions, more questions.
We're going to go to St Andrews. The third round is over in the Women's Open, but first of all we need to see what happens with this Villa corner. The whole end, thousands and thousands of people in there in the two tiers, steeply banked, are watching down for this Villa corner, which will be taken by, well, it's a combination actually. Tielemans might take it with an outswinger, but it could be an in-swinger from
the set-piece coach is out.
He is, of course, and referee Oliver has just spotted a bit of something going on in the 6-yard box. David Raya perhaps being impeded. They've got 2 or 3 players, Villa, either side of him. So a corner for Aston Villa from the right. Martinelli's not 10 yards away from where the corner's going to be taken. He's going to get himself yellow carded if he's not careful. So the corner to be taken. It will be Tielemans to strike this. The outswinger towards the back post, which is headed by Onana, but well wide, high and wide. He was arriving at pace. It's a goal kick. So what's the news from St Andrews, Ian Carter?
Much needed birdies for the top 2 players in the world as the final action of this third round, John. Nelly Korda a 75 today, Lilia Vu a 71. So Korda's 2 behind Jaya Shin going into the final round. Vu just 1 shot behind, and Charlie Hull with a closing birdie. She was rounding a 75 at 2 under, 5 shots off the pace.
Very good. So the conclusion tomorrow, all of the top sport on 5 Live all day. Weekend breakfast from 6 o'clock. Colin Murray's programme from 10, which is always good on a Sunday morning. The feature they've got at the moment about the derivation of football songs is well worth listening to. Sheffield United last week. And then 5 Live Premier League Sunday from 12 with all of the sport. The Dutch Grand Prix commentary on Sports Extra tomorrow. But 0-0 here. Aston Villa 0. Arsenal 0. Onana had the chance there from the set piece, but just coming in at such pace. Here is Odegaard now. Odegaard to Saka on the right hand side. The ball just runs away from him. He's back in possession of it though, the Arsenal number 7. Back to Odegaard. Left-footed ball curled in, but Martinez comes, catches that comfortably as he leaps out of the 6-yard box, and there's been a collision. A Villa player has gone down. I think Odegaard has run into Watkins.
It's Partry who's blocked Ollie Watkins' run off, but Ollie Watkins hits the deck. Yeah, we all get the replay. Look, the clash heads. He tried to block his run, and anyway, they're both okay.
Yeah, Watkins is okay. And there's actually a handshake between Watkins and Partey, and it is a drop ball as a result of that, but it's just given back to Martinez. 0-0. Lines are open for 6:06, as we heard. Chris Sutton at half-time. 08085 909 693 if you're on the way home from one of the matches today. Martinez just overarming it out. So 08085 909 693, hashtag BBC 606, text 85058 to book your call. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, as ever, on a Saturday night. Onana now carrying it forward, giving it to McGinn to his left. Now up there to the left-hand side. Watkins trying to get it onto his right foot. The challenge comes in, quite a heavy challenge, but a good one. I think he took the ball, Partey, and then a foul by Havertz. Free kick taken quickly by Arsenal. Martinelli is onto this. Nedeljkovic up against him. Martinelli comes out with the ball. He's looking for support from his teammates, but all that happens is that Rodgers comes back, and Rodgers easily dispossesses Martinelli, leaves him on the ground. Excellent work from the young Englishman. Rodgers still going, carrying it, takes it away from Partey. Rodgers now, left foot curling shot, took a deflection off Gabriel, which carries it wide and low for a corner.
Yeah, brilliant run again, Rodgers. He's strong, two-footed, been the best player on the park today, I've got to say. He's one player who's been very positive. Every time he's got the ball, he's driving forward, he's looking to create, looking to get a shot, trying to make something happen for this Villa team.
Chris, the way that he's played today, Lee Carsley is here. The way he's played today, he could be in the England squad on Thursday.
He's got to be putting a star next to his name, definitely up on his notes. But I'd like to see Trossard come on for Arsenal. I think he's more positive than both wingers today. And Arsenal need a spark.
Yeah, Jacob Ramsey as well. I think we might be going to see him and the highly popular now John Duran after his excellent winner against West Ham last Saturday. Still 0-0 here. These two teams who both started with a win last weekend. Corner to Villa after that excellent run from Rodgers. Tielemans takes it in, punched away by Raya. Comes out to Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic then back to the halfway line, and back it goes from Digne to goalkeeper Martinez. So it's the same change that Emery made last week. Ramsey and Duran coming on, and then when Maatsen came on later, all three were involved in the winner. Bailey's ball curling into the Arsenal penalty area, but Raya is able to backpedal and catch the ball comfortably. So it's in the balance, this.
Oh, well, it's positive by Villa, isn't it? They're looking to win the game now, I think, and Arsenal are just competing at the minute. They've not, when they've gone forward, there's no conviction about them for me. They're just very happy to slow the game down, keep the ball. I think they're waiting for a mistake by Villa, but it's Villa, for me, who took this game to them and are trying to win this match.
Yeah, Watkins, big chances each half, yet to get off the mark this season after his thrilling goal in the Euro semi-final against the Dutch. Salford, it looks like they're on the way to victory against Huddersfield in the Super League. It's 48-0, the latest score. Arsenal on the attack with Saka in the shadows now down in that corner. Son streaked across the pitch. Saka, left-footed curler to the back post, headed away by Bailey. Torres heads it across his own penalty area. He's fortunate there that Digne was there to head it away. Here's one for Watkins to chase, but Saliba got there comfortably first, and Gabriel and Arsenal have it back. Aston Villa, who were in such good form at home in the early part of last season. Villa giving it square. Here's Arsenal giving it square. Here's Timber, Partey, little ball forward towards the edge of the box. Odegaard trying to twist, and then it's played through, and the chance inside the penalty area for Saka, who was very nearly in there and somehow actually didn't get a shot in.
Score, he's got to shoot. Just dink it, whatever you want to do. Place it, pass it, blast it, shoot.
But he didn't. Villa were able to clear. It stays 0-0. Onana now. Onana, oh, lovely turn from him, and he was dragged back. He definitely suckered Partey there.
Will that be VAR for Saka? Will they look at it?
Took him back. Do you think so? Do you think there might be a chance of a penalty for Saka?
No, we'll look at it. We've got to.
Villa now, the changes, still 0-0, and John McGinn coming off, so Jacob Ramsey is on, and also Ollie Watkins. Well, after his brilliant season last season, for Ollie Watkins the rustiness has continued, and Trossard also coming on for Martinelli, so a straight swap there as well. So Leandro Trossard, who was involved with Belgium at the Euros. John Duran on now. Ramsey taking the McGinn position on the left-hand side. John Duran the man who scored what turned out to be the winning goal. And a free kick for Villa, forward and left of the centre circle. Digne to curl this in, which he does. It's a deep one, actually. Konsa drives it across the face of goal and wide of the far post. He caught it on the volley. It was a sort of cushioned volley back across goal, and that was not far away.
Well, he'll be disappointed he hasn't scored. I mean, it's a good free kick, well worked. I mean, there's nobody marking him. There's nobody within 5 yards of him. I think he's just pushed it back across the goal, and it's nearly sneaked in the far post. Just goes past the post. But you've got to say, on the two to date, I know it's been a very cagey game, but Villa have shared it so far.
We shall not be moved. Villa supporters. When that draw comes out on Thursday tea time, you'll hear news of it on 5 Live, the Champions League draw, which is going to be computerised because of the sheer scale of it, with all of the teams involved in the league section. Every team will have 8 matches in the league section, but Villa will pull out some big names because they will be in pot 4. Arsenal with it on the right hand side. Saka, now White. 08 085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606. Ben White, now Saliba, Odegaard, Partey, Saka on the right hand side. In comes the challenge. Digne tight on Bukayo Saka, back to Odegaard again. Odegaard's ball through, Saka trying to chase this. I think he'll get there as well. Pulls it back, Havertz trying to reach it. Trossard, right foot, he's found the bottom corner. The substitute, who's only just come onto the field, scores the opening goal for Arsenal here at Villa Park. The team that beat Arsenal twice last season, but Arsenal haven't forgotten that, and 1-0 they lead.
Well, he's not celebrating. Whether he thinks he should be playing from the beginning or what, I'm not sure. He's not celebrating at all, is he? I mean, let's be honest, it's been all Villa who've been more likely to score, but when you've got quality in the side, I said Trossard should have been on a while ago. He's a terrific player, I think. He takes people on, makes things happen, and this was just a reaction, wasn't it? The ball just ends up coming towards him. Good bit of play by Arsenal. They keep it moving, they keep looking, probing, and all of a sudden the ball comes across. How does it react? Oh, is it out of play? That's what they're looking at. I don't think it is.
Saka pulled it back from the dead ball line.
It's a great finish.
But
not a lot of power on it. Not a lot of power. Yeah, I think it's the goal. That's a goal. The
whole of the ball has to.
Yeah, it's a good finish. Great finish.
Yeah, Saka got there. It was excellent work, actually. Lovely ball from Odegaard, actually, through to Saka.
Yeah.
Saka got there, pulled it back low, and Trossard in position. I'm not sure how often he touched the ball before he drove that in. And as you say, Chris, I'm not sure what the not celebrating is all about.
I probably think, John, now he thinks he should be playing.
Well, I remember at the Euros, in the match they were knocked out, Domenico Tedesco didn't bring him on, and I remember him standing with his hands on his hips on the side of the pitch, clearly wondering why it was that he hasn't been brought onto the field. They were knocked out. Here he is on the field. Arteta's brought him on, and here he is now. Trossard away from 2 Villa men down the left hand side. Arsenal looking for a second. The cross is deflected, actually back onto Trossard by Konsa, and it is a goal kick.
But he's a good player. He's very positive, isn't he? When he picks the ball, he's always looking to create, cross, shoot, dribble. He's always very, very positive from what he does.
Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 1, and now Aston Villa have work to do here, and they might rue those misses from Ollie Watkins, who is now being replaced by John Duran, and Partey. Villa standing off Arsenal. Odegaard, you know, he won't get an assist for that, Odegaard, but the pass through for Saka was such an important part of that goal. Here he is, the Norwegian again. Stands up, looks for the pass out to the right hand side. Back it comes to Havertz centrally. Odegaard looking for it again. Now a back heel from him. Havertz on the edge of the area. Odegaard chasing it once more, but it runs away from Saka, and Digne plays it off Saka, and the ball is deflected into the crowd. But the Arsenal fans there, it's them that you can hear there, absolutely cheering the Saka effort there to the rafters, blocking the Villa clearance.
Yeah, and that goals give Arsenal a little bit more confidence, I think, as a team. They push Villa right back. Villa can't get out their half at the minute.
Villa again can't get out of the half. Arsenal come at them once more. Pau Torres away. Rodgers claims for a handball. Referee Oliver allows it to go. Bounces forward to Duran. Duran keeps his feet. Trossard after him. Does well. Duran now gives it to the left-hand side. Ramsey's ball across. Rodgers. Ramsey again. Approaching the penalty area. Direct run this into the penalty area. Almost runs across. But actually, Gabriel just steps forward and is able to take the ball and play it away. Shove in the back by Digne on Saka. That's not given us a free kick. Aston Villa continue. Out to Bailey on the right-hand side. Bailey attacking towards the Holt end. Into the box. Here to Rodgers. Rodgers drags it to his right. Crosses it into the shins of Gabriel. Corner to Villa from the right-hand side.
Yeah, I wouldn't write Villa off yet. They've still got talented side out there, and Rodgers is pulling the strings for them.
When Villa won that match against Arsenal back in December, that set a club record of 15 home league wins in a row. Here they are 1-0 down in August in the Premier League to last season's runners-up Arsenal. Corner comes in, that's headed away back to the halfway line. Martinez, long and right-footed from him, tries to pick out the pass to Digne over there, but challenge from Ben White, gets up, wins the header. Saka takes it away. I think he was caught by Onana. Amadou Onana, yellow card for him. Saka would have been away otherwise.
Yeah, that was an obvious yellow. He's had to take him down, hasn't he? As you say, Saka would be away. Saka now is waiting for him. I think he's all right. He's trying to slow the game down, I think. Arsenal obviously trying to dictate the pace of the game, winning 1-0.
Yeah, the Villa fans in the pubs around here, pubs of Birmingham, the Villa pubs, they'll be talking about Bukayo Saka going down far too easily. That will, without question, that will be a theme for them of the evening. But that was certainly a foul and a yellow card. You've been in that position, Chris, as a wing out receiving that sort of treatment, haven't you, back in your time? You have to withstand it, don't you?
Yeah, it's hard. Listen, but years ago, John, your own players used to tell you to get up.
Free kick. Gabriel plays it forward towards Partey. Saka is on his feet. Back over there on the right wing. He'll get an assist for that. Assisted one of the goals last weekend. Scored one of the goals. Very good start for him. He was part of that big England effort at the Euros. That thrilling goal that he scored against Switzerland in the quarter-final. Disappointment in the end, but he's starting the season very, very promisingly. Bukayo Saka as it breaks down for Villa in the central third, and it bounces out of play for a throw into Arsenal halfway inside their own half. So if Arsenal win this is a very, very good win for them.
Yeah, massive win. But if you're going to win the league, or you want to win the league, this is the sort of games you come to. And you mightn't say we played great, we didn't play as well as we can, but we got the result. And there's a substitution coming on.
Yeah, another change that is going to be made next time the ball goes out of play, not just yet. Throw in being taken by Timber. He's come into the starting lineup today for Zinchenko. Now here's Declan Rice, but Villa nip it back from him. Nedeljkovic, Pau Torres, Tielemans still inside his own half, turns the ball infield. Rodgers turns Partey yet again. Rodgers now sets off on a run up against Arsenal players and actually just overhits it. Maybe tried too much there as the challenges were coming in for him. We're going to see Ian Maatsen come on as well, the summer signing, and Ross Barkley's going to come on for his second Villa debut. As I say, second time around, having previously been on loan. Gets a slap of the hand from his manager, Unai Emery. With Arsenal leading by 1-0. That Leandro Trossard goal that was buried low, the shot past the dive of Martinez to his left, as Timber, right-footed, spreads the ball here right in front of us. Trossard carries it infield, pass through, just cut out by Konza. Comes back to Timber, 50-50 challenge. Ball bounces to Nedeljkovic. Bailey is able to run it away to the halfway line. Challenge comes in from Timber. John Duran takes it on. Duran and Havertz, excellent play from him. That's applauded by Arteta. Hands above his head, the way that Havertz chasing back down into his own left-back position.
I think he's a midfield player, Havertz. I think he's a number 10 plays behind the strike. He's doing a job for them. He does it well. He works hard. Doesn't look like a natural goal scorer to me, but Where do you play him?
Yep. 1-0 Arsenal lead. BBC 5 Live, 6:06 on the way. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Really enjoyed listening to Robbie last night talking about his new managerial role on 5 Live Sport with Darren Fletcher. Free kick to Arsenal on the halfway line. Odegaard foul, groans from the home supporters, and now we'll see this change. It's a Mana who is coming off. He has been yellow carded. That's his home debut. The former Everton man, Ross Barkley, is cheered onto the field after his fine season with Luton last season. £5 million they've spent on him. And Ian Matson coming on at left back to replace Luca Digne. And we know, don't we, what Matson is capable of pushing forward from left back.
Yes, he can. He loves going forward.
So on he comes for what is his home competitive debut for Aston Villa. So that's 5 changes now made by Aston Villa and by Unai Emery. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 1. We are into the last 15 minutes now. Once we wrap things up, then Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will take over. Sure, more managerial tales from Robbie Savage today, but it was a different Robbie we heard last night. Not completely different, but more of that later. 08085 909 693. Arsenal. Oh, lovely pass from Gabriel over the top to Trossard, drives it right across, over there to Saka on the far side. Saka now, Villa have got men back, still Saka, Partey, right foot shot, Martinez couldn't keep it out. Diving to his left, he's furious with himself. He was beaten by the shot of Partey, and Arsenal lead 2-0 now at Villa Park. What a good win this will be for them in only their second league match of the season.
Well, I've got to say, yes, it will be a great win. I mean, we all thought Villa would win this, and the chances Villa have had, they've wasted, or been unlucky on occasions, let's be honest. But Arsenal have just shown that great determination to ride it out, keep going. You know, they've been very disciplined on the performance today. They've waited for opportunities. They haven't had many, but when they've created them, they've took them.
Martinez, whether he was at all unsighted, just signed a new contract this week. He's Mr. Popular here. The former Arsenal goalkeeper, maybe I think a little unsighted, but even so,
he's got to save it.
He's got his hands to it.
At this level of football, a goalkeeper of his ability, and we know he's a top keeper, he'll be very disappointed with that. I
mean, that's a rare one for him. You don't often see him make mistakes like that.
Exactly.
So Jordan Pickford made a bad mistake today by all accounts when I was listening to Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin with the commentary earlier, and now Emiliano Martinez makes one like that, and you know, you can see, I'm watching him now, looking at him, he's standing on the edge of the penalty area, looking at the heavens, thinking, how did I not keep that out? Trying to push it around the post. We're going to see Calafiori come on very shortly, but Thomas Partey scoring for Arsenal. Didn't score at all last season. Remember, he had all of those injury issues, so it was actually March of 2023 that he last found the back of the net for Arsenal, and now they're in command, and it looks as though Arsenal are on the way to victory here at Villa Park. And Calafiori, the Italian international, the 22-year-old summer signing from Bologna, is going to come on to replace Timber, who came in to start. And Calafiori, it looks as though he is going to play at left back, so a straight swap. That's where he came through, as a left back.
Yeah, I think he can play there. After watching him play for Italy, he definitely play anywhere along that left side, centre half or left back. He can do that quite comfortably.
So I think it's probably all over here, and it is all over at Old Trafford as Arsenal attack again. Rice, and Odegaard lifts it over the crossbar. That could easily have been 3-0. In fact, the ball hit the top of the second tier of hospitality boxes. It remains 2-0. And at Old Trafford,
It is all over, and England have won by 5 wickets, 7-17 in the evening. Joe Root hitting the winning runs. He's finished not out, 62. Chris Woakes, the other not out batter, at 8. But what a brilliant effort by Sri Lanka to push England all the way. They made this run chase really, really tricky, and they made England battle for wickets earlier on as well, as they hit 326 in their second innings. So a proper old-school, old-fashioned Test match, just the kind you like, John. England win by 5 wickets.
I've been loving it. I've watched a lot of it over the course of the last couple of days, and there we are, 5 wickets in the end. So you'll hear everything wrapped up right now on Sports Extra with the Test match special team, and of course the TMS podcast from BBC Sounds. Arsenal fans cheering and celebrating because Maatson can't keep the ball in on the halfway line. TMS podcast from BBC Sounds, of course, where you'll get the football daily, all live. BBC Radio is there. You can pause, rewind the live radio, listen back to any of our commentaries. The Arsenal fans might be doing that back down through the 50-mile-an-hour zones later. And let me point out as well, have a listen to The Quiet Place, which was Steve Crossman's very good programme this week about deafness in sport. That will be on there as well. But Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2.
They've lost the way, Villa, I've got to say. After the first goal, it was something they didn't probably think was going to happen to them. They were on top, really, just shading it for me. And that first goal's really hurt them, Trossard's goal, and they've not recovered from it. Yes, he's made substitutions trying to freshen up, but they've lost the rhythm. Arsenal on total control of this football match.
Yeah, I must say, coming here today, I by no means, Chris, was certain that Arsenal would win this match. Thought they might be in danger of losing it, having seen Villa last week, who did really look ready, I felt, for the start of the new season and the challenges that lie ahead. But here we are, that extra quality, really.
Yeah, and listen, at moments, big games, you're looking for that moment of you, and you know, you've got to look at Villa's chances. Ollie Watkins could have been 2-0 to Villa, couldn't it? Quite easily.
Here's Ramsey on the edge of the penalty area. It's not over yet, of course. Still got 10 minutes to play. Think of all those comebacks last season. But I will be very surprised. The team that had the best defensive record in the Premier League last season, just 29 goals conceded. Calafiori has come on at left back. This is his competitive debut for Arsenal. The Italian international, just 22 years old. Did such good things with Bologna. Thiago Motta was the coach, wasn't he, last season? They got them into the Champions League places. We talk about Villa being back in the top competition for the first time since the 80s. Bologna are in it for the first time since the 60s, believe it or not. And Villa with Konza's ball to the edge of the area, the long head. Calafiori heads it down and away. Rice now carrying it forward. Arsenal looking for a third goal that would absolutely finish it off. Odegaard now the player of the year last season, the captain, actually gives it back to Saka, square from him. And then Trossard tries the shot, but that flies away over the top of the post.
That's Trossard, isn't it? You know, that could easily went in the top corner. It didn't, by the way, but that's what I like about him. He's very, very positive.
So Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2 remains the score. And with Villa and Rodgers and Duran's flick sends Ramsey through, and Ramsey shoots, but it's saved by Raya. Defensive challenge came in there as well from Saliba, which was superb.
Brilliant, absolutely top draw that, John. Ramsey must have had 10 yards on him on the run, and the ground he's made up to get back and slide and time it to perfection. Brilliant defending.
He still got the shot in, but and Raya had to make the save, and actually was congratulated by his teammates for making that save. But Saliba, that's excellent. I mean, that's pace, isn't it?
Yeah,
brilliant pace, excellent defending. Corner for Villa into the near post. White heads it away for Arsenal. Trossard's nearly lost it on the edge of his own penalty area. Actually, the touch that he had meant that it could be played forward to Saliba, who then loses it on the halfway line. Two Villa players collide with one another, Duran and Bailey. That rather sums it up for Aston Villa as Arsenal continue to play, and Rice hits a pass down the right hand side for Saka. Maatson comes across. Saka curls it back. He was caught late there by Tielemans. Referee might come back to that. In fact, he has. He's given the free kick, Michael Oliver, even though Odegaard was in possession. That might might be a yellow card for Tielemans. But it's a free kick certainly to Arsenal. And remember how potent they were, as I was telling you earlier, from set pieces last season.
To be fair, yeah, it's a great position for someone like Saka with the left foot here. Look as if you're going to cross it, you might be able to get this in the near post.
Free kick then for Arsenal on the right. Saka is just climbing to his feet. Saka's ball back, wasn't it, for Partey to score the goal? So he's actually set up both goals.
He's had 2 assists,
Free kick for Arsenal. Into the last 5 minutes now, so 5 minutes plus added time. And then shortly after that, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton with 606 taking your calls. 08085 909 693. We'll bring you the live interviews as well, hopefully, with Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta, who will be very pleased after this, if it stays like this. Odegaard with the free kick, 2-man Villa wall. It's from an angle over there on the far side. On Odegaard's left foot, just waiting and waiting to take this. In it comes, but headed away for Villa. Comes back to Odegaard, who lifts it in high this time. Calafiori's after it, but it's caught by Martinez, who was buffeted by Calafiori, who then tries to impede him. Martinez brushes him off. 2 Villa players come to the rescue and actually are manhandling Calafiori, and referee Oliver had to bring it back. Tielemans and Konza were
To be fair, I mean, I don't know what that was all about. He tried to stop Martinez giving a quick throw or quick kick when he caught it. But
what do they call it in wrestling, where there are 2 of them on one? I can't remember. Anyway, that's what they were doing. Villa attacking down the left-hand side. Time running out. Urgency. Villa's ball across. Duran misses his kick. Comes back to Duran, but he shoots into Gabriel, and the ball bounces away. And I think we'll go out of play for a corner. Yes, it is. It's a corner, and it's been volleyed into the stands there by Trossard. He actually picked it up.
He's not very happy, is he?
It's like watching Willie John McBride at Lansdowne Road or something. Whacked it into the top tier of the stand. Well, I'm not sure necessarily he did that. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2. Saka's coming off, and Reece Nelson is going to come on for what will be his 50th Premier League appearance. I'm wondering whether his future might be away from Arsenal, but anyway, he's on. Reece Nelson barely played last season.
Yeah, he didn't. No, hardly played. Yeah.
Mainly substitute appearances. Started just 5 matches in all competitions. But Saka is off. He's done well today. Bukayo Saka, Chris.
He gives them good balance, and you always expect a bit more from him. We know he loves to come inside. It's all left foot, all left, and sometimes you just like him to be able to go outside and look comfortable with his right foot. But he's had 2 assists again.
Yes, he has. 2-0 Arsenal lead. There's no doubt he'll be in the England squad. Bukayo Saka, cheered off by the Arsenal fans, such a hero. Lots and lots of live sport coming up this week. We've got League Cup commentaries on Tuesday and Wednesday. Live coverage of the US Open tennis begins, so that's on Sports Extra. Lots and lots of that during the night. Paralympics begins on Wednesday for another dose of Paris, and then as I mentioned earlier, the Lord's Test begins on Thursday, so that'll be on Sports Extra, as well as all of the continuing coverage next weekend of the Premier League and all of the matches covered tomorrow on BBC Radio. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2. But if you remember last season, Chris, we were there, weren't we, when Arsenal lost for the first time in the Premier League when they were beaten at Newcastle. That wasn't until November, as Tielemans is tripped centre field.
Yellow card, Odegaard.
Yeah, Odegaard is booked, the latest Arsenal player. So Odegaard now joins Rice in Michael Oliver's book. Free kick for Villa. 1 minute of the 90 to play. Villa. Bukayo Saka is receiving some abuse here. In fact, they're screaming actually at him. Like
that scream when he goes down.
When he went down in the first half, and he shushed them, hasn't he? There has been a response there from Bukayo Saka, who just puts his finger to his lips as he walks past them. And now he's warmly praised by all of the various Arsenal staff, and eventually takes his seat while the screams continue. But he's had not the last scream, he's had the last laugh today, setting up both goals for Trossard and Partey. It was still 0-0 into the last half hour. Ollie Watkins had missed those big chances for Aston Villa, but Trossard and Partey have scored, and Arsenal are on the way to victory, it would seem. Ball into the Arsenal penalty area, that's lifted away. Duran putting Gabriel under pressure, but that's out for a throw-in down the right. 4 minutes of added time. Lines open for 606 to give Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton a call. 085 909 693 the number. Read all about this on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Phil McNulty's writing about this match today. He is here at Villa Park. Highlights match of the day tonight. 60th anniversary of match of the day this week. They'll be celebrating that, I'm sure. BBC One tonight, and then the Football Daily podcast for all of the reaction if you missed it during the course of the day. Here's Nedeljkovic for Aston Villa, heading to their first defeat of the season in their first home league match. Rodgers. Now Nedeljkovic again. High cross from the young Serb. Right over there to Maatsen on the far side of the penalty area. Maatsen, little ball into the box. Ramsey, back now for Barkley to hit the shot, but he's skied that way over the top of the crossbar into a rapidly emptying Holt end.
I think Emery will take a lot of positives from this performance. So, you know, he's given a team a tip to win it or be runner-up again. You know, top 4 team, Arsenal, we know that, and he's given them a very good game, and they could have been 2-3-0 before Arsenal scored. So there wasn't a lot between them. Arsenal, you know, a dogged performer, really hard-working, disciplined performance, and they got the rewards. But Emery can look at this game and think, we're not far away.
Not far away, but Arsenal are still ahead of them.
The thing for Villa is they've got Champions League and more things to come. So, you know, have they got the squad big enough? I know they've signed players, but is the squad actually big enough with the quality you need to compete in them 2 competitions?
Yeah, such a big game for both clubs today, but certainly for Arsenal. Last season, I mentioned the start they made of their first 10 league matches last season, won 7, drew 3. You know, that helped to build the platform for what they continued with right to the end, the last Sunday of the Premier League season. Here's Rodgers pass, that's cut out. Barkley now back through the middle, but Calafiori steps in, and Arsenal there, and then there's a foul on Reece Nelson, and it's a free kick to Arsenal halfway inside their own half. And then I think particularly with the matches that Arsenal have got coming right up. So Saturday at home to Brighton, who've started with 2 wins, started really brightly under Fabian Hürzeler, their new coach. Then the North London derby at Tottenham, then Manchester City in Manchester. So this was so important.
Yeah,
today.
it's been a good test for them, and they've come through it. So you know, listen, they know every game in the Premier League. Anything, you know, there's no easy. People will say there's easy games. There's not. We know that. But Arsenal will be knocking on the door. Listen, there's no doubt about that.
Villa will feature in our 3 o'clock commentary next Saturday. That is at Leicester. You'll be with Ian Dennis for that, won't you, Chris?
Yeah, Leicester, yeah.
Next Saturday afternoon. And Leicester will look after you, I'm absolutely certain of that, back in the Premier League. As Arsenal send it downfield for Havertz. Swings the ball across, first time pass to Odegaard. Odegaard with Tielemans. Villa have managed to get Pau Torres back to Trossard. He's going to shoot, which he does, but it was deflected, came off the foot of the defender. I think Tielemans got back in there, and it bounced through to Martinez. And now the Arsenal supporters taunting Villa. They're making up for the 2 defeats last season. Villa doing the league double over Arsenal, which was so costly. When you think of how Arsenal finished 2 points behind Manchester City with 2 defeats to Aston Villa, but not this season. Arsenal win, and win well, here at Villa Park on the second Saturday of the Premier League season, with the second half goals, the goals in the last half hour from Trossard and Partey, and they will rue the misses by Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa, that could have put them in front.
Yeah, I totally agree, John. I think for an hour, they were the better team. I think they just shaded it, but they kept going, Arsenal. They kept going, and they got the chance. And once we went 1-up, the game changed. You could see Villa mentally looked a bit tired, and Arsenal just grew and got stronger. So, you know, Villa are not far away. I don't think they'll win the Championship. I wouldn't say Premier League, definitely top four.
Definitely top four for Villa again.
Yeah.
Despite all of the competitions that they'll be involved in. Anyway, Villa can look to that Champions League draw on Thursday. I'm sure that'll give everyone at the club a huge lift, the prospect of the fixtures that they'll face over the course of the Champions League this season. As I say, next Saturday, Leicester is their destination, and that will be a 5 Live commentary. But for Arsenal, an excellent result to set them up. 2 wins out of 2, matching Manchester City after the victory last weekend against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and the players just milling around together now as they head towards the tunnel. So we'll bring you the live interviews during the course of 6:06 with Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta, all being well. So stay with us for that. Just to mention it as well, tomorrow 3 more Premier League commentaries. Wolves, Chelsea, you'll hear that on 5 Live. Bournemouth, Newcastle will be on the website and app for the commentary from there, and then 4:30 Liverpool against Brentford live from Anfield. 5 Live's Premier League Sunday for that from 12 o'clock tomorrow. But there we are. Chris Waddle, thank you very much for your company again at the start of this season. It's finished Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2. Lines are open for 606 08 085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606 after the news with Carl Hartley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you. Police investigating a mass stabbing at a festival in Western Germany have arrested a 15-year-old boy. The teenager is not suspected to have carried out the attack, which left 3 people dead, but it's thought he knew it was going to happen. Local journalist Annie Stosberg was at the festival.
Suddenly the music stopped, and then a man came on stage and he explained that there was stabbing not far away from us. He said, please don't panic, but go home because we don't know where the man is, who the man is. We were shocked.
In the last few minutes, the Islamic State group has claimed responsibility for the attack, describing it as revenge for Muslims in Palestine. NASA says 2 astronauts on the International Space Station won't now return to Earth until February. Their mission had been expected to last just 8 days when they arrived in June, but issues with their Boeing Starline craft has led to the extension. Italian authorities investigating the deaths of 7 people in the sinking of a luxury yacht off the coast of Sicily say they're looking into the potential crime of manslaughter. The UK technology entrepreneur Mike Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah were among those who died. The French President Emmanuel Macron has described an explosion outside a synagogue near Montpellier as an act of terror. The blast in Le Grand Motte injured a police officer. And police have stopped a rider on a modified e-bike who was using a motorway as a takeaway delivery route. Lancashire police stopped the rider on the M6 near Preston. The bike's been seized and the rider has been summoned to court.
Music Uncovered, the UK garage story, hosted by DJ Spoody and Jam Supernova. I want to tell you all a little story. From US House and the Sunday scene, before the grime it was UKG, from the early 90s nursery to the 30th year anniversary.
Join us as we rewind through the hits, pivotal figures and moments that took UK garage
and transformed into Britain's #1 party starting sound.
Doing it again. Put your dancing shoes on, down to the dance floor, let's get a move on. Music Uncovered, the UK garage story.
Listen now on BBC Sounds.
Are you ready to have your say in the UK's biggest football debate? Your teams, your views. Get ready. This is 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on 5 Live.
It's time for you to have your say about your club. 606 are on air until 9 p.m. tonight. New season, but it's the same old problems for Ten Hag and Manchester United as they hit the rocks at Brighton.
Chips it back post. Pedro! Albion in injury time. The top scorer from last season in the right place at the right time. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Manchester United 1.
Oh, Christopher, a person who dislikes the both Manchester clubs. United could have won here, but had a goal disallowed. Brighton were good, and the defending for their winner in stoppage time from United was terrible, Christopher.
Yes, it was. Look, I mean, from Brighton's perspective, under Fabian Hurstler, can they better the season which they had under De Zerbi, where they finished sixth? But from Manchester United, what are your expectations this season? Here's one, Rob. Why is Garnacho not starting for Manchester United? I don't get it. Eric